get started this video. 1, I wear dog tags now. You can probably tell by the last video. 2, I wear bandanas now, like on my Bardock shit. 3, I got a new mic. Now, I've had this mic, I think, the first video I uploaded with this new mic was the Dragon Ball Kakarot video. I don't know if you could tell. Like, if you really listened, you could be able to tell that was a new mic, but you probably wouldn't be able to tell. All right, now you may be wondering, yo, Isaiah, Barox, whatever the hell you call me, DS, some of you still call me DS, why the hell are you making a face cam video? Like, we don't want to see your ugly ass face. I'm like, I know. Look, I'm making this video today because if you guys do or do not know me, obviously I just got done playing through Spider-Man Miles Morales, and how's this video, how's this mic look? Is it blocking my face? I don't, you know, whatever, it'll be all right. I just got done playing through Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I absolutely love the game. I think the game is perfect, 10 out of 10, and better than the original. Crazy how such a short, small game ended up being better than the original. But in other Spider-Man, so you know me, I love Spider-Man. But in other Spider-Man news, the next Spider-Man film, which is set in the MCU starring Tom Holland, Spider-Man 3, is going to be potentially rumored, heavily rumored. There's a lot of like support behind it that the other 2 Spider-Men that played Spider-Man before Tom Holland will be featured in this movie, plus a bunch of other characters, like Daredevil, Emma Stone, Kristen, I forgot her name, but the lady that played MJ in the original Sam Raimi trilogy. All of them are coming back for this 3rd Spider-Man movie. And on paper, this sounds really cool and really dope, and a lot of people are excited for it. But me, on the other hand, I'm iffy, 50-50 about this, and I'm gonna get into it. That's what this video is gonna be about. Also, you could tell now that I have this new mic, I could be chillaxing in any way now. Like, I'm chilling right now. But you may be wondering, Isaiah, you like Spider-Man? Why the hell are you worried about this Spider-Man film? The reason why I'm worried about this Spider-Man film, this is going to be like a short video probably. I don't expect to go anything over 10 minutes. But as you know, this Spider-Man film, as it features, like I just said, it features all the Spider-Man. So it's going to be Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland in it. Now, on paper, this sounds really cool and really dope, like a dream come true. This is like a dream come true for me. I've wanted this since Tom Holland's been a thing. But the problem with Tom Holland, well, it's not even Tom Holland himself. The problem with like Marvel and Sony, I don't think they know what they want to do with Spider-Man like right now, at least for Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Because as we all know, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is like, either you love him, you hate him. Majority love him and think he's perfectly fine, but those are like, I don't want to sound like that guy, but like those are the normies with Spider-Man. They just like Spider-Man films. Those are the people that like didn't really read the comics or whatever. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, those people like find that Spider-Man fine and all that. And I was, and me being the Spider-Man comic nerd, just Spider-Man in general nerd that I am, I was fine with Tom Holland's Spider-Man until Far From Home, basically the most recent movie. And hearing me say that might be a little weird because as before, I made a review for Far From Home with my boy Swizz, and I was praising that movie. But to be honest, I was probably off the goofy juice, and my opinion on that movie has changed a lot since then, right? So my feelings on the movie now are like not a complete 180, but I do see the flaws with it more now. And I just don't know how they're gonna do the Spider-Verse thing in the first place. How's it even gonna, because if you see, all right, it's been like a year now. The end of Far From Home, Peter's identity gets revealed to the world. So how does that go into Spider-Verse? I don't know. It's just really weird how they're gonna transition from that into Spider-Verse now. But it's not even that. I also feel like Tom Holland's story and his character as Spider-Man, his adaptation as Spider-Man, wasn't really well done. I feel like he got really screwed over. He really didn't get a chance to shine and be his own Spider-Man. Like Civil War, I think his introduction was perfect, and I wish they kept Peter just like how he was in Civil War. I think he would have been the best adaptation we got if he stayed like that. Sadly, we didn't get that. But with what they do with Homecoming, with the whole lesson of Peter trying to learn to become his own hero, without this technology, so he could still be a hero, all that, becoming his own hero, figuring out who he wants to be and all that. I think that was still pretty cool. I think that was all really good still, and something that was needed for that version of Spider-Man. But then they did it again from Far From Home, which makes no sense. I mean, they tried to like spin it like a little bit so you wouldn't realize, but if you really look down to it, the core of that movie was still Peter trying to figure out to become his own hero and not be Iron Man Jr., not the one to take Iron Man's mantle after he died in Endgame. Like I said, it's been a year. If you haven't seen Endgame, or you at least don't know Abs in Endgame, whose fault is that for real? Not mine. But yeah, I think Peter Parker's story and his character and the who the fuck. I think Thomas got really screwed up. Like, I know he loves playing the role of Spider-Man still, and I think he plays the role great as Spider-Man. I think, like, for an actor of Spider-Man, I think he's the best one we've gotten, like, easily. He can play the quirky, loser, nerdy Peter Parker really well, and he can also play the charismatic, funny, nervous but heroic superhero that is Spider-Man. I think he plays the role really well. So it's not really Tom Holland's fault. It's more or less, well, not more or less, it's Marvel and Sony going back and forth with this little dispute that they're having, and the fact that the writers aren't the greatest. You know, it's really saddening seeing him like that. So, and something I talk about in Discord with my friends is if Sony see after this movie is the last movie that he has in the MCU, so like if Sony continues to continue the Spider-Man story their own, I hope they keep Tom, and I hope they do a better story. I hope they do better story and give him better script, because he deserves it, because he plays Spider-Man really well. Like, I know he's still having fun, even though he's not having the greatest. He doesn't have the greatest writing, so that's great and all still. But like, I think he could do better and get better. But yeah, that's my main problem with the with this potential Spider-Verse thing, is that like Peter Parker, the MCU Peter Parker, isn't really a fleshed out character, and his story wasn't really well done, and now they're just pushing all these other Spider-Men onto him, and he's just going to be overshadowed. Like you have the legacy and all the old school heads with Sam Raimi. That's all they care about. And then you have Andrew Garfield. I mean, there are some Andrew Garfield fans out there. That's like, it's just, I feel like it's just gonna be overshadowed by the old cast. And you also have, I'm recording this on December 9th. It was revealed today that Daredevil is also going to be in the film. I don't know. It's just a lot that they're doing. There's going to be overshadowing Tom Holland, which really sucks for him. I mean, I bet he'll have a great time, and I hope they'll like still find a way to like not make it so he's not just completely overshadowed, and he still has like a big, well, obviously he'll still have a big role, but like, you know what I'm talking. Also, another thing that I am really scared of, Doc Ock, the original Doc Ock, I forgot his name, but the Doc Ock that in Spider-Man 2 will be the Doc Ock will be returning for Spider-Man 3. And you're like, what could possibly be the problem with this? See, now, if you remember if you remember Spider-Man 2, at the end of the film, that Doc Ock sacrifices himself and literally says a quote that he will not die a monster, and he sacrifices himself to save all of New York. But if they bring him back in the MCU, I'm wondering how they're going to do it, because like, you'd be completely ruining his character arc that he went through with Spider-Man 2 if you bring him back as a villain. So it doesn't really make any sense. That's why I'm concerned. I don't know what they're going to do. I feel like they're going to really ruin a lot of old character arcs, and they could ruin Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Andrews. And Emma's going to be coming back, and Emma as Gwen, and Gwen's supposed to be dead in these Spider-Man. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. I feel like they might mess up a lot. They might do good. I don't know. Whenever I see this movie, I'm just going to turn off my brain and watch the movie.